Okay, thank you.
Oh.
Be careful what you say. No.
We're official.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular board meeting, November 18th, 2025 of the Mililani Mauka-Launani Valley Neighborhood Board 35. I call this meeting to order. And at this time, I'd like to ask BSA Troop 664 to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Color guard forward march. Marton march. Ready hold. Color guard about face. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two. Color guard forward march. Marton march. Ready halt. Audience, you may now be seated. Color guard dismissed.
All right, thank you, Troop 664. Before we go on, a quick reminder, and I will again state this at the end of the meeting. The board will be in recess in December. So our next meeting will be in January, let's see, January 20th of next year. Just a reminder, the board is in recess next month in December. Moving on to meeting decorum, Vice Chair Tom Sherrill.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and to our community. On behalf of Chair Hazama and your Mililani Mauka-Launani Valley Neighborhood Board number 35, again, welcome. And we, again, welcome all feedback, comments, ideas that you have. We just ask in terms of the protocol that you raise your hand, be recognized by the chair, and he'll ask you to come up to the microphone. For those that are joining us remotely, if you could please mute your speakers, but use the hand sign if you want to be recognized by the chair, and he'll signal you to share. The last I just asked is that so we can get everyone's feedback and ideas, if you could limit your comments to about 3 minutes or less if possible. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Moving on to our monthly reports for first responders, Honolulu Fire Department.
Aloha, my name is Ryan, or Firefighter 1 Ryan Cancel, from Mililani Mauka Station. So our incidents for October were 2 activated alarms, no fire, 43 medical responses, 3 vehicle crashes, and 1 hazmat incident. Our safety tip is basically for food on the stove. So pay attention to your food when you're cooking anything, especially over the holiday. Don't leave it unattended. And then make sure to watch your children.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the Honolulu Fire Department this evening? Anyone online? All right, thank you very much. Have a happy holidays. Take care. Next up, the Honolulu Police Department.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lieutenant Scott Vieira. I work out of the Wahiawa Station, which covers the Mililani, Wahiawa, and the North Shore. I'll go ahead with the stats for this month. There was 0 assaults. There were no robberies. There were no burglaries. There were 2 unauthorized entry into motor vehicles or vehicles that were broken into. There were 30 motor vehicle collisions. The total calls for service was 476. I'll go ahead with our safety tip. You know, the holidays are soon upon us, so I just have some holiday travel safety tips. Share your itinerary with trusted friends and family before you guys go in case they need to know where you are. You need to get in touch with them, or they need to get in touch with you. Research your destination, find out about local laws, customs, any common scams, and current events that are going on in that area. Know the phone number for emergency services there. Enroll in any safety or alert program so that you are well informed in the case of an emergency. And keep digital copies of your important documents, just in case you lose your purse or something, you have some copies and it's going to help you to get back home, especially nowadays. While traveling, be alert and aware, stay vigilant, especially in crowded areas. Always secure your belongings. Wear any purse in front of you. Keep your bags within view. Use hotel safes to store your valuables. And try not to post any adventures in social media until you get back. I know it's hard. My kids do that all the time, but it's a lot of times people know that you're away and it might encourage or just let people know that the house is empty. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you, Lieutenant. Any questions for the Honolulu Police Department this evening? Anyone online? All right. Thank you, Lieutenant. Happy
Thank you.
holidays.
Have a good evening.
Take care. Okay, next up, Board of Water Supply.
All right, good evening. I'm Stephen Nordstrom from the Board of Water Supply. And for the Mililani and Mauka Neighborhood Board, we had one main break last month. It was October 28th. It was an 8-inch break at 95-1039 Kualapa Street. And our general announcement for this month is about main breaks. When a main break occurs, the Board of Water Supply works quickly to reduce the impact to customers, protect public safety, and restore service. So for the latest updates on main breaks, generally 4 inches or larger, and information on how those repairs are made, you can visit our website, boardofwatersupply.com/main breaks. And you can also stay informed via our social media outlets, Facebook, Nextdoor. And for the larger, more impactful main breaks, please download the city's app, hnl.alert. We do post information about those larger breaks on that app. And that is the announcement. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Stephen. Any
Yeah,
questions
welcome.
for Board of Water Supply this evening? Go ahead, Al.
Mr. Chair, did you fix the sprinklers that were running full-time out in Hawaii Kai that was on KHON 3 the other night?
I
I
don't,
don't know how long they ran.
was
but
this
they
on
ran
Luna Lilo Home Road?
continuously for about a week.
Oh, let me follow up. Was that the one on Luna Home Road? median?
I believe so, if I
Oh.
remember the TV correctly.
Yeah, I didn't see that report, but I know we've had complaints about those sprinklers breaking over there, and we
Bad example. When
yes.
you're telling all the rest of us to knock off the water use.
Well, when you do see that too, let us know because we do follow up on
Well,
water waste. No, I understand.
Evidently, nobody out there called. I don't know why, but
Yeah, no, that they should. If you do see water waste, anybody, please let us know because we do take it very seriously, and we'll follow up on
and
that.
then there's up in my tract up there, and I don't know what the street is, but they're sure having a heck of a time repairing a water leak of some sort. I'm up there I'm on Hawani Place
Mhm.
up in Mauka, but it's down on the bottom end of I wish I could remember the street, but I can't. But anyway, they're having a heck of a time repairing. They've been at it for 2 weeks.
This is the resident. Oh, they're doing work in their home, and or is it out on the street side? Oh, okay. If you can find out the address, I can follow up for you. Yeah, if you can let me know. Oh, no worries. Yeah. Yeah, but as soon as you do, let us know. Just email us and we'll follow up.
All right, Teresa, go
Sure.
ahead.
Thank you. Is there so the city has like their app to report
Mhm.
things. Does the Board of Water have anything similar to that or anything to send?
Yeah, so if you have questions about water waste and things like that, you can go to our website. We are semi-autonomous, so we're a little bit different from how the city operates. So if you go to boardofwatersupply.com, you can actually report water waste that way. You can also email us any concerns you have, and our communications office will follow up. So contact us, CONTACTUS at hbws.org. That is the email address. Or you can call us and leave a voicemail. We'll follow up. Trust me, we do follow up as quickly as possible. 808-748-5041. It's all up here.
Perfect. I was trying to find a way to avoid bothering Kat every.
Oh, yeah, no, bother. No, you're not.
Helpful
You're
way.
not bothering her at all. But
I wanted to share with some of the folks in our.
but yeah, send that email address and our office will follow up on it ASAP.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Anyone online? All right, thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, you're
Happy
welcome.
holidays.
Thank you.
All right, next, our military rep. Good evening, Colonel.
Good evening. Good evening, Chair. Good evening, Chair and Board. Lieutenant Colonel Melander, representing U.S. Army Garrison, Hawaii. First, the 25th Infantry Division and U.S. Army Garrison, Hawaii would like to extend our sincere mahalo to our neighbors and surrounding communities for their patience and understanding during the Army's annual JPMRC exercise. We recognize that the increased noise and activity can be disruptive, and we truly appreciate your continued support as soldiers complete their readiness requirements. Thank you for your partnership and standing with us as we train to serve. There's 4 events I'd like to bring attention to. The first is the next job fair, and that's the 24th at Kiliamanu Training Room from 8:30 to 1:30. Job offers and provisional hiring day of the fair may occur. Advanced applicants may go to www.himwr.com. Second event is the Waikiki Parade. The Waikiki Holiday Parade will take place on Friday, November 28th, around 6:30 p.m. The parade commemorates Pearl Harbor by honoring survivors and veterans in memory of the attacks from December 7th, 1941. Local Hawaiian bands, marching bands from the mainland, military units, and military bands, local officials and dignitaries will march down Kalakaua Avenue in Waikiki. The National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day ceremony will be held Sunday, December 7th at the Pearl Harbor National Memorial. This event will honor the 84th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor. The ceremony will be held from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. And the Pearl Harbor Memorial Parade will take place December 7th at 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. The parade will begin at Fort DeRussy and end at Kapiolani Park in Waikiki. The parade's theme is remembering the past and celebrating our future, paying tribute to veterans, armed forces, and families. Any questions and concerns or to be added to the distribution list for community concern line is 808-787-1528, and we appreciate your understanding and patience.
Thank you, Colonel. Yeah, go ahead, Alice.
What is that great big 4-engine gray? I love it. I mean, I hear that thing coming and I'm out there watching it. What is that airplane doing? Is it doing stop and goes? Is it going get up and run, or what is it doing?
Is it the C-17?
It's a great big gray thing, and it's got 4 propellers.
4 propellers.
Yeah.
So the propeller.
And very
aircraft is
noisy.
Probably the.
And very noisy.
C-130 is a
Okay.
propeller aircraft.
And so what is he doing? Because he's 1,000 feet up, like my son says he has to be.
So probably picking up supplies or troops and flying them around.
He seems to be going around in circles.
Yeah.
He's going around in circles.
Okay, so a lot of times for the landings, they'll practice the combat landings. So in a combat zone, they'll do a lot of circular flight patterns at various angles to try to avoid rockets and other items that could be shot at them. Well, they're training, not from you, they're training. But I mean, it is all part of the training exercise.
Any other questions?
It's quite fun to ride when they're doing that.
Yeah, sign her up. Okay. Anyone else online? All right, thank you, Colonel. Oh, I'm sorry. Come up to the mic, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Board. My name is Daniel Gabriel. I'm a community member. I have a question about what is going on at that water treatment plant just outside of Wheeler Air Force Base. I'm curious what type of work is being done. I see a lot of large pipes coming in and out, being put together. Are those pipes that are I assume they're being replaced on base? Are they unsatisfactory according to safety parameters. So what is going on there? Thank you.
I'll have to take that question back to the Garrison.
Okay, maybe you can get his contact information and then copy me on the email. Okay, any other questions? Anyone online? All right, thank you, Colonel. Okay, moving on to board business, unless there's any objections, I believe item A will get an update. I'm hoping to get an update later on from some of our members that are going to report later on. So we'll move item B up right now and we'll do an update on the affordable housing project at Mililani High School. We have Sherry Nakamura from the OISFA.
Okay, we have a presentation. So aloha chair, board members, Sherry Nakamura from the Hawaii School Facilities Authority, or SFA. I have an exciting update this evening. Designing teacher workforce housing, like any other important project, requires listening and collaboration. I'm pleased that after hearing from the school and staff and the Mililani community, we are excited to be presenting the renderings of the project to this neighborhood board tonight and the Mililani YPO neighborhood board tomorrow. We are thrilled that Mililani will have the distinction of being the first community in the state to have a teacher housing project on school lands to help address the teacher recruitment and retention challenges facing our state. Ultimately, our keiki and our public schools will benefit. On behalf of SFA and the Pacific Housing Team, I would like to express my mahalo for all of your input. So we can go to the next slide. I think you can probably just scroll down. Yeah. Okay, so I know this is small. I don't know if you can zoom in or not, but just to bring everyone up to speed, the original proposal was to build the teacher workforce housing on the upper campus. We took time and heard loud and clear that was not an option. We went back to the drawing board and relocated the teacher workforce housing. The yellow dotted outline is the perimeter of Mililani High School. The red line shows the location of the workforce housing project on the Mililani High School campus. It's the lower campus. As many of you know, there are great amenities in the area within walking distance. Next slide, please. So this is a site plan of the housing project, including some expressed concerns about the impact on traffic on Mehe'ula Parkway and on the school campus. We took that into consideration and are proposing a separate entryway off of Mehe'ula Parkway. You can see there's a, I don't know if you can see it. There's a curb cut actually in the road already right there. That will be the entrance to the building, its own entrance to the building. We also heard some expressed concerns about the safety of the students as well as the privacy of the teachers living in the housing. To address that, we have included fencing that helps keep the housing separate from the school activities, and you can see the fence around the perimeter there. There were also concerns about how this new teacher workforce housing would displace parking on the campus. We are proposing a parking area to replace the parking spaces that are being displaced. And I think you have to scroll down a little bit or make it smaller. If you zoom, yeah. So behind the tennis court, that area there is where we're proposing to have parking, which would replace the parking lot that's being displaced by the housing project. We have also been collaborating with Principal Fred Murphy. We appreciate Principal Murphy's long-range vision for the campus, and we revised our footprint to be smaller within a 30-foot setback to accommodate the school's future plan that includes an airnasium that will be located on the existing tennis courts. So you see the tennis courts there, and there is a sort of space between the housing project and the tennis courts because we needed a 30-foot setback for this airnasium. That is a separate project outside of our scope and the focus on housing, but it is good that we understand how the housing fits within the bigger picture for the campus. Okay, The next 3 slides, you can go to the next slide, elaborates on these plans. And you'll notice these have a watermark that states these slides are not for public viewing. So you are the first ones to be seeing these slides. We just didn't have time to take the watermark off, but we're so happy that you're the first one to see these renderings. So this is the entryway off of Melhe'ula Parkway. There is a parking at the bottom of the housing to maximize the space. There is fencing around the housing. You can see sort of in the background that there's fencing, allowing for separation of school and housing activities. And the architect spent a lot of time thinking about how this project can best fit in within Mililani, including the landscaping, size, and color of the building. Next slide. Here is a closer view of the entrance. We're planning about 100 units and about 150 parking spaces. The developer, Pacific Housing, wanted to ensure that there was more parking available at this site. You'll notice that there are some stalls outside the building that's going to be for guest parking. There will also be a gate to allow tenants under the building to their parking stalls. Next slide. So this is the view from the intersection of Anania Drive and Mehe'ula Parkway. Our housing project will only use this driveway for emergency purposes. There will also be a walkway for tenants leading to Anania Drive. We also have our housing set back from the current tennis courts where the DOE is planning an airnasium for the school. So this is the entrance to the school, and as I mentioned before, it would only be used for emergency purposes so as to keep the campus and the project separate. Next slide. The next 2 slides show the inner courtyard of the housing project. Pacific Housing wants to create a good community space for tenants and have their families have a place to enjoy. You can see the courtyard where the tenants can mingle and gather. There will be a play area for keiki. There is also fencing on the inside to keep keiki safe from the parking lot that's beneath the housing. And you can sort of see sort of mesh along the courtyard, and then there's sort of a meshed area that's going to be the fencing to keep the parking lot separate. Next slide. Oh, one more. Yeah. So this is another viewpoint of the courtyard area. We are planning a community room and a fitness center in the building. Now you can go to the next slide, the timeline. So we might need to zoom in a little bit on this if we can't read it. So we are where we are, so you can see the updates and the environmental assessment, the building permits, construction, and tenant move-in. So we are at the end of 2025, and we have embarked on the environmental assessment process. The next steps are permitting, and then construction, and then tenant move-in. Right now, we are scheduled for the end of 2029 for the tenant move-in, if everything goes smoothly. So this is our projected timeline, and we do have this on our website. This is the end of the presentation, so I'm so pleased that we are able to show you how we're progressing on this project, and I'm happy to take questions if you have any.
Okay, we have any questions from the board? Go ahead, Steve.
Chair. Thank you for the presentation. Is there going to be on-site management?
Yes, so the project will have Pacific Housing, who is the developer, also manage and maintain the property rentals. So I imagine they would have a resident manager on the premises. Was that your question?
Yeah, especially for safety reasons.
Of course, yeah. I think there will be a resident manager. But I can confirm that, but that's my understanding.
If you can carry that forward also, that would be great.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Go
Chair.
ahead, Teresa. Yeah.
Okay, I have a couple of questions because they kind of meld together. So the facility, will that be encumbered into Mililani Town Association membership, or is that not a part of MTA?
My understanding is because it is on school land, it will not be part of MTA. That is my understanding, but I can also confirm that.
Okay, and why I ask is because to lessen the footprint of the building, because you're trying to accommodate a lot of amenities,
Mhm.
because Mililani Town was a predetermined to have those facilities available. So each of the subdivisions don't have to have their own. I'm wondering if there's a variance that MTA would be open to allowing them membership as a facility. Because I don't know how like Olalo and everything else, how that plays in, because they're like separate little, they're subdivisions, but they might be private. But that might be something to, look at. Because then again, lessening the footprint of having all the community room and the fitness and all of that. I mean, YMCA is right across the street.
I see. So you're saying that if, because Mililani Town Association sort of has a framework on community spaces and
Yes.
recreational spaces, then you wouldn't necessarily have to have that the residents could use.
Yeah, it's like they're in their bubble right now. They're in this, and I
Right.
feel like that takes away from the whole purpose of community. That they're in
I
their
see.
own little bubble.
I see, I see.
And so I would, if there's a way, I don't belong to MT. I live in Launani Valley still. That's a conversation
Okay,
for
well-
that part of it for, the
That's a-
developer. And then the intersection that they're going to use for their driveway, is that
Mhm.
where the current turnaround for the post office? That turn, is that the cut open? Is that where the opening is?
I see Chair Hazama shaking his head.
It's before that. Oh, so you're gonna,
It's before.
they have to cut open an intersection then.
There is
Oh,
already a,
They're using Anania Street as the intersection. I
Oh,
think it's there.
No, that's to the driveway where the high school is. It's beyond that.
right, it's beyond
It's-
Anania Drive.
It's across from the church.
Looks like there's another intersection cut through.
No, they put that in. That's why I'm wondering if that's, because there is one where the post office turnaround is by the church. That's where
Oh, okay,
that's
okay,
where
yeah.
the banana patch area
Right,
is
right,
now.
right.
That's
Yeah.
why I was wondering if that's pre-existing or you're gonna cut in another.
No, it's
take-
pre-existing.
Okay, that's the
Yeah.
one then.
Yeah,
Okay.
pre-existing.
Okay, are they looking to develop that into a better left turn space?
The traffic TIAR, is that what it's called? So the EA is happening and the traffic
Okay.
analysis is part of that assessment. So I would imagine there's going to be recommendations regarding traffic or what would be
Like when they come
suggested
out-
to improve.
When they come out, are they
Right.
allowed to turn left to go up?
Right.
That, those kinds of things. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Well, I wouldn't do that without a traffic signal. They're not gonna be able to get out of there sometimes, but, okay. Any other questions?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
the buildings are four stories, I take it, from your picture?
It's going to be, the bottom floor is going to be the parking and then 4 stories.
In the building.
Yeah.
And-
So the bottom, the first floor is going to be parking.
And where is the community room and the exercise room? and
It's gonna be on the
exercise room? Is that on the second floor?
No, it's on the ground floor.
It's on the ground floor?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and what are the size of these, are we calling them apartments?
My understanding right now is it'll be a mix of 1 to 2 bedrooms. I can't tell you the square footage of the 1 bedroom or the 2 bedrooms. But the plan is to have 1 bedroom and 2 bedrooms, which would be for either singles to live or roommates or families for the 2 bedrooms.
And then you're going to have elevators, correct?
Yes.
I hope you're going to have some kind of a service agreement with the elevator people because the high rises in down in Waikiki have had a tremendous problem with the elevators not working on 30 floors.
Well, that's good feedback for
So
us.
I would hope you would have a service agreement that did parts and labor and everything else.
Okay, that's good input for us. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Anyone online? No, I got a couple.
Okay,
Just a few.
sure.
So this is a rental project, right?
It's a rental project.
Affordable rental project. Have they come up with the price points yet for the units?
No, we're not able to know what the rental rates will be. But we do know that we will be following the Honolulu City and County's rental guidelines for workforce housing.
Oh, so you're gonna follow the workforce housing guidelines, not the affordable.
Well, it is, I think it's all in the same table, right? Because affordable,
I think affordable has its one table and then workforce is another table. So which table you guys
it's,
gonna use?
it's workforce.
Workforce,
Yeah,
okay.
this is a workforce housing project.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then like Teresa mentioned, for the traffic study, I hope they come up with improving that intersection with like signalization, because just for the residents, they're gonna have a hard time.
Right. No,
it's-
that's
it's
good
tough.
feedback
Can
for
you
us too.
bring up the picture, please? Sorry.
It's the
there we
third
go.
slide, I think.
Yeah.
And you can,
So there's a
You can zoom.
connection between the two units, or the
Ye-
two. Is that just a walkway on the
Yes.
ground level, or is it elevated?
I am not sure if it's on a particular floor. My sense is that I'll have to get back to you on that. I thought it was above ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
It might be like a bridge or something
Yeah.
between the two.
There's a
Okay,
connecting.
so for your construction timeline, is it possible for you guys to build one of the units first, like in phases, and then open it up for rentals when that unit is done, and then move on to the second unit?
My understanding is that it would be done all at once, but I can confirm that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, my understanding is that it would be done at one time, the whole thing.
Because I would imagine the parking for the units, they're going to build from the ground up anyway. So the parking stalls for that one unit would be built first,
Right.
and then they build above. So it's just to get the units
Tenants in
available.
Sooner than later.
Yeah, sooner than later, because your construction timeline is out to 29. So it's
Right.
kind of out there. So you might be able to do phase one in 28.
I
finish
see what
in
you're saying.
28,
Uh-huh.
Move on to the second building and then finish it in 29 so that you get people in there. Yeah.
We'll take
Just
that
a
into
suggestion.
consideration. Yeah,
Not-
sure.
All right. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
sorry. You shared that the parking area for the housing will have a gate
Yes.
to separate from outside guest parking and,
Yes.
okay,
So it's going to have a gate around the whole project,
the fence line.
Right.
Yes, correct.
and then it's going to have a gate around the parking.
Gotcha.
And then it's also going to have a gate in the interior so that the people living there, like if they have children, they're not going to
Mhm.
be able to run out into the parking lot.
It's just, it's going to be a busy Friday and parking, it's crazy when there's football games. Just make sure there's no overflow into your parking lot.
Right.
Jump the fence, free tickets. No. Actually, the guys on the top floor probably can watch the game from their units. I'm just saying, but Yeah, so you did have to, because you said the footprint got smaller,
Yes.
you did have to kind of go a little bit more
Taller.
higher density
Yes.
in the unit. So
Yeah. Not only is it a smaller size, it's a different topography too. So we worked hard to maintain the requirements of the project.
Yeah. it's fine. Okay. Go ahead.
You had
Sorry.
another,
Go ahead, Stephen.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
So is it going to be gated parking?
my understanding is yes, because it's going to be for the housing project. So it's not like anybody can go in and out. There's going to be a gate to the parking.
Thank you.
Okay,
Sorry,
Teresa.
Chair. I lost my train of thought.
You'll think of it and
I'll think about it here.
Chair, is it just going to be for the Mililani High School and the middle school, standing or any any teacher that's come on the island, no matter where they teach at, they can live in them home in that project?
Yes, it's for the whole state
State?
or Oahu. So it's not just for Mililani teachers, but if you do teach at Mililani schools, you have the potential to live there, yes. But Mililani is so central, and the DOE did do a housing survey, and the number one, the most popular, or the area where the teachers wanted to live, number one was Mililani. So you guys live in a beautiful place and a desirable place.
Okay, I remember now.
Okay.
So I know there was a lot of issues with infrastructure, the wiring and everything. So all of that has been resolved in water and plumbing and,
We will have to do some work with infrastructure. It is possible. And so part of the process is right to do the EA and figure out more detail about what exactly needs to be done. But at least that process has started, and it's being analyzed on what exactly would be necessary.
Go ahead, Alice.
What's the number of units in these two buildings? I forget.
It's 100, about 100
About 100?
Mhm.
Okay.
of a mix of one and two bedrooms.
Good.
Anna Hudson, I was kind of wondering about the price point because I'm familiar with senior housing. Usually they come up with 3 tiers. Because you can't have all low income in a facility. You have to have high income as well. Is there some thought about that? In order to make the place viable, you need 3 tiers, usually 3 tiers. And then what happens when there's not enough people in a certain tier? Is there arrangements? Like, what if all the teachers, all of a sudden their salary goes up and there's still people that need housing with low salary? So is there a way to accommodate? Are they going to be looking to make sure that the people that really can't afford housing are going to be considered first? And as they make money, are they going to be told they have to leave?
Those are all really great questions. If I go back to the first design at the other location, so the Pacific Housing did intend to have a mix of units and target different AMI levels. So we want to provide housing for beginner teachers, for example, who make less salary because they don't have, they're just starting out and don't have as much experience, and also be able to target more experienced teachers who maybe have families who would qualify for the higher AMI range. So there is an intention to create a mix of units. To your question of how it's going to all work out and if there's going to be, too many or too less, we're not sure yet. We do know though that there is demand for housing, and that was sort of validated by the DOE's teacher survey, which showed that teachers would live in rental housing designed for them, and there is a great demand. So we think that there's going to be, just as DOE has a diversity of employees and how much experience and salaries that they have, we would be able to accommodate a range of sort of lower income versus middle versus higher income in the range that we are targeting as well. Now, I'm not quite sure how property management works, but it's based on eligibility. So I would imagine that if circumstances change, and it could be individual too, right? You could be a young teacher at first, but maybe you get married and your income boosts up because your husband makes more money, then you wouldn't necessarily qualify for that unit anymore. So I think there's going to be movement that way as well.
Yeah.
But your questions are, I mean, your questions are very useful and we'll take them back and it's all part of what needs to be considered to get to the finished product. So thank you.
Also, this is like the first one in the state, so I'm sure they're gonna look at adjustments and the hope is that this is the first of many more that'll be built throughout the state itself. So they kind of, we gotta kind of build it, get people in it, and then see how it works out and do adjustments on the price points. But I think your point is taken, you know, if we have, the expectation is for them to have more actual rentals and units available. So it'd be interesting to see. I don't think they're going to have more units than people wanting to rent them. So, Tricia, you had a question?
Yeah, just
Go
for
ahead.
clarification, this is Department of Education workforce housing. It's not specific to any one position, correct? It's DOE.
It's targeting teachers and staff. So people who work in our schools.
Food service, cafeteria, janitors, principals. Not kidding.
Principal,
Maybe not a principal.
principals probably won't be eligible, maybe. Never know.
All right. Any other? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for the presentation. Also, since we're talking about price points and all this, so then a teacher on one salary, the price points for the apartments will fit that salary. Is that the assumption or no?
Well, we are using the guideline from City and County of Honolulu, which is based on the U.S. Housing and Urban Development income and rental rates that are, I guess, recommended. They come up with tables. And so if you are a teacher that makes a certain salary within the range that we are targeting, then the rents should be comparable to what has been established by the city and county that's based on the HUD recommendations. Yeah, the AMI scale.
You know, I understand that, but this is Hawaii. Most people work 2 jobs, 3 jobs. So since this is being built for teachers, it should be matching those salaries because they're taking care of our children. I don't want them to necessarily have to work 2, 3 jobs in a housing for teachers. So there should be something there. Not talking about the other. The other one is just a chart, but I'm talking about real world here.
Right, we're going to follow the salaries, the salaries that teachers actually make and correspond with them on the recommended rental rate. So yes, we are, it's not like we're building this for others. It's specifically targeting teachers and we are going to look at their salaries and we're going to match the salaries to the recommended rental rates.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, Sherry, thank you very much. And I'm sure we'll have more updates next year. Okay. Thank you very much. All right, moving on. Why don't we move on to residents' concerns this evening? Does anybody have a resident's concern this evening that's not on the agenda? No? Anyone online? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to our elected officials report. Do we have our governor's? Oh, I know the governor's rep sent me an email. She's not going to be able to make it tonight. Anyone from Congressman Ed Case's office? Nope. Okay, moving on to Office of Mayor Blangiardi. Carrie Castle. Good evening, Carrie.
Good evening, Chair Hazama, board members and community members. Carrie Castle, Budget and Fiscal Services Deputy Director representing Mayor Blangiardi. Couple of things that I would like to highlight for everyone is we talked last month about the fact that segment 2 of Skyline was opening to the public on October 16th. In the first week, it was very successful. There were nearly 93,000 rides during that first week. In terms of what it is today, my understanding is that the ridership is running about 10,000 rides per day, which is up from approximately 4,500 rides when only segment 1 was open. Secondly, I wanted to make the public aware of, with the holiday season coming up, the city has many festivities planned. One to highlight is on Friday, November 28th. There would be a free concert at Blaisdell Concert Hall. And primarily the Royal Hawaiian Band will be holding this free concert along with Henry Kapono and Ratea Helm. Those are some of the featured guests. Also, Kamehameha School's Children's Chorus. The Honolulu City Lights will be on November 29th, the following night at 6 p.m. And then Kapolei City Lights will be the following weekend, Saturday, December 6th at 6:45 p.m. I'll put all this information with the link to the flyer in the chat. Moving on to community issues from last month. So with respect to item 1, which is the emergency access road, so our NCO has reached out to the governor's representative, Melanie Martin, to see how we can facilitate, moving this this forward as far as the MOU. Our DTS, Deputy Director John Uchi, is working with Hawaii State Transportation Office Deputy Director for Highways, Robin Shishido, and they are working on moving that MOU forward. The city has responsibility to complete the signage and making sure that we install that signage. HDOT has offered, if we need any help, that they will also help with signage. Moving on to the second item regarding the MOU between DOE and DPR. So according to our DPR Deputy Director, the MOU is currently with DOE. It was sent back to DOE on October 14th. And so we haven't heard back yet. And so again, we're trying to see how we can move these two matters forward. Again, our NCO has reached out to the governor's representative, Melanie Martin, to see if she can help us find out exactly, what the holdup is so that we can bring this to completion. I'm sorry that she's not here tonight. And lastly, regarding the green dump in the Launani Valley. So our Department of Facilities Maintenance has indicated that the stream area in Launani Valley is privately owned and maintained. So to the extent that that is the case, the city is not able to ask that private owner to, I guess, perform certain things with respect to, I think what got reported was that while some of the trees were cut down, I guess the tree trunks were left in the ground. Again, this is something that, because it's privately owned, the matter would have to be taken up with that private owner. Additionally, again, we reached out to state Representative Melanie Martin to see if DLNR owns any of the land that was identified in the photos. And again, the only takeaway is that the state highway owns the property under the H2 freeway. And so that's something that perhaps you can go back to the state with. I'm here for any questions.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. Any questions?
Chair.
Teresa? Yeah, go ahead.
Did they notate who the private owner was?
Let's see. I do not have the name of the private owner.
Because nowhere else along that whole entire stream is it owned by a private owner, including the private homes that are in the gated community along Mauka-Launani Drive. That is state property. So I don't see where one part of the stream is not owned by the state. Because my grandparents live in that gated community along Mauka-Launani Drive, and they received a notice of violation because they thought they were doing something in the stream.
I think
So-
he's waiting for a response.
Yeah, so if I could, if
Yeah.
going forward, if you could forward that to chair who the private owner is, then that would help me facilitate going forward and figuring that out. Because like I said, even DPP, the mappings for tax map and all of that still listed the original developer owning that side of the hill. And so I think there's a lot of missteps when it comes to TMK in that area, showing one portion is owned by the Castle and Cook, a section is owned by the state, a section is owned by a developer, and then on the other side is owned by our association. But again, that's the land portion. It doesn't dictate the stream portion within that. So that would be super helpful for me to keep going forward. Because like I said, I just don't want to have flooding happening because these tree trunks end up falling into the stream bed because they're hanging over the stream bed right now along the side of the hillside that is crumbling underneath it. And I don't want to go around in a circle and then we have a flood in our valley. That's kind of why I brought it up. This is not something that I think I need to wait every month to see what we got in pieces. I would really appreciate maybe being included in the email or chair, we can get connected because this is dangerous. It's a flooding issue. It's a safety issue. This is not because it looks ugly, other than it does look ugly. I grew up along that stream since I was a baby. So I know the destruction that can happen. Also, who receives that water if it gets blocked up? Those people on the bottom are not getting the water flowing either. So I appreciate any follow-up you can provide for that. Thank you.
Okay. I just would like to mention, we also took this matter to our Department of Land Management, and the feedback that we received is that, again, the Launani Valley is not a city-owned and managed property. But in terms of the private ownership, let me find out for you.
So
See
just
if
to clarify, Chair, that is city dedicated streets. Our properties are not managed by the city. I've dealt with Department of Land Management. I went to 7 different departments before I brought it up here at the meeting. Again, it's the stream itself, the waterway. It's not about the land that is attached to this waterway. It's the waterway. There are no state stream waterways that are privately owned in this area. There never has been. I've never seen that. So that's why it's imperative. And, also our representative from the military also shared with me that there is a component where it may be possible the military may have possession of an area further up, which could also come down. So there are other venues that I'm also considering working or requesting some assistance. So as much as I can get from you folks, from this, it's probably not a city and county issue. That's why I had brought it up. It's probably a state issue because it's a state waterway. So, and I'll pull up the NOV and see who sent the NOV to my grandparents who live on the stream. Thank you.
Okay. As much as I can find out for you who that private ownership is, I will try.
Okay, thank you, Carrie.
You're
Go ahead,
welcome.
Stephen.
Chair. Carrie, Stephen Melanders here. I'd like a a follow-up on the COVID hazard pay for the city personnel
Yes,
last
I know
month?
that you had raised this question last month and our timeline hasn't changed. I think I mentioned that we are trying to get for the HGEA membership, get those payments out by the end of the year. But I don't have a specific pay period to share with you.
Great, thank you. I have one more question, please.
Sure.
I had a call from the chair of the neighborhood board for Chinatown, and there were some complaints came in having to do with the Department of Transportation for the city, evidently canceling some of the bus lines that went into Chinatown. And what they were doing, or apparently, when the chair told me, they were rerouting people to take the rail, and then they take the rail, but it wouldn't go to Chinatown. They get off, have to take a bus, double back in the other direction, and then come back on a bus. Is there, is it, I don't know, I'll just share what was told me. Is the city manipulating the schedules to try to force more ridership on the rail?
Oh, I don't believe that to be the case. My understanding, and I, really can't speak specifically on behalf of our Department of Transportation Services, but what they're trying to do is to make sure that buses sync up with particular rail stops so that it's able to move passengers from rail into places like, for example, I know they set up something specific to take people off the rail to University of Hawaii as an example, to make it convenient so that people actually use rail and get to the destination that they're trying to get to. So that's one, positive that I know specifically. As far as your particular question, if you could get me more information on that particular line, maybe I can find out for you. But as a whole, that is not the objective of DTS.
Thank you. And yeah, I can get that information and email it to you. It's a sensitive area right now because the bus is in contract discussion. This last week, they were talking about even the possibility of striking. And we really
Yes.
don't want to have thousands of people without a bus. So does the city
Absolutely.
have are you kidding? Do you have a contingency plan does the city have a plan if that occurs?
We've been, again, I'm sorry, I can't really speak for Department of Transportation, but we have had more higher level discussions in terms of, what our options are with alternate, I guess, vendor services that could be available to residents. Whether it's, something like Ubers and Lyfts and those types of things. But, trying to replace OTS bus drivers would be very nearly impossible if they were to go on strike. But yes, we have been having discussions and trying to come up with options.
Thank you. I hope I'm not bringing up things that are uncomfortable, but these are real world, which is happening like right now. This happened this last week or two. So I
Yeah.
appreciate your information and I will email you specifics as I
Okay.
receive them. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm not uncomfortable. I just wish I had more specific answers for you as it relates to like Department of Transportation Services.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. Any other questions? Anyone online? So Carrie, I just want to clarify something. So you said earlier, this is in regard to the emergency road for Mauka.
Yes, yes.
So DTS sounds like they're fine if DOT actually helps with the signage and stuff like that, right?
Well, my understanding is that HDOT offered to
Oh,
help
okay.
if the city needs it. So but I guess it looks like our two deputy directors from HDOT as well as our city Department of Transportation are working together to, try to finalize this and move this forward so we can bring it to completion. And again, our NCO office reached out to the governor's rep to see if we can get help.
Yeah, because I guess the MOU is one thing. They can put up the signage while they're working on the MOU, I think. But okay. I mean, as far as the community is concerned, we don't really care which one puts it up as long as they put it up quicker. I mean, But all right, thank you, Carrie. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Okay, moving on to Council District 8. Yeah.
Aloha, Chair Hazama. This is Pua from Councilmember Okimoto's office and
Well,
our board members and our guests in the meeting today. Thank you so much for having us. I just wanted to let everybody know that there are going to be some events during the holidays where we're going to have parades and things like that. I wanted to just thank thank Jocelyn, our executive secretary, for dropping off our flyers for November. She's awesome because we had 2 meetings tonight. IAEA actually changed our meeting date from last week to this week, so she had to actually transfer. She had to do 2 drop-offs for the letters, newsletters for November. So I have a few announcements. We had our full council recap meeting that was on the full council meeting on November 5th. The legislative updates. So resolution 25-305 strongly requesting that the Director of Planning and Permitting declare the previously approved conditional use permit minor for Kamananui agribusiness activities null and void, or alternately deny modifications to the conditional use permit minor requested by Konahua Ranch LLC proposed in North Shore, the gondola project, Bill 62 CD1 2025 relating to the amendments to the bed and breakfast home and transit vacation unit standards and requirements, which were inadvertently omitted under Ordinance 25-2, including missing maps. Bill 5, 2025 CD2, addressing the farm animal control by adding a new article to Chapter 12 of the revised ordinance of Honolulu 2021 to address the duties and functions of a farm animal control contractor. Today we had the Committee on Budget for Bill 55, 2025, establishes fees on developers to administer City and County of Honolulu multifamily rental house program. Bill 63, 2025, amends the requirements of low-income housing dedication for residential use, adds an annual reporting requirement, and provides a home exemption to those who rent out homes long-term. And Bill 64, 2025 requires the mayor to submit a report on appropriations at the same time budget documents are submitted pursuant to the city charter. And additional notes, we did put in the chat. If you need to find any council bills, resolutions, and agendas and other communications, you can go to our website. We also put in the chat all the important websites and links, including the November newsletter, but also the Give Back this Thanksgiving sites, any kind of links or websites regarding if you want to volunteer at locations for the holidays. We have that available as well. There's currently 5 events that are happening during Thanksgiving that if anybody want to come by and volunteer. And as everything else, I think that's what we have for the evening. If you guys have any questions, I'm here to help. Mahalo.
Right. Mahalo, thank you very much. Any questions for Councilmember Okimoto's office this evening? Anyone online? Okay, thank you.
Mahalo. I'll be
Yeah,
online if there's any questions that come up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Moving on to Council District 2, Council Member Matt Wire's office. Kelly. Hello.
Aloha Chair, members of the board, Kelly Anaya from Councilmember Matt Wire's office. Just a couple of things. Wanted to mention that Councilmember was honored to participate in the 79th annual Wahiawa Lions Veterans Day Parade. He wanted to thank all the veterans for their service and their sacrifice. And also he wanted to thank the Wahiawa Lions for organizing their annual tradition. I also wanted to mention that even though the federal shutdown has ended, many of our residents are still feeling the impacts. I'm going to be putting, excuse me, I'm going to be putting in the chat some resources. So if you or anyone you know is struggling, please feel free to reach out to any one of those groups that I'll be putting in the chat. Also wanted to mention that DTS, the Department of Transportation Services, is advancing plans for a new bus transit center, which is going to be adjacent to the Waiawa Skyline Station. This would be improving the connection between the bus and Skyline for commuters across central Oahu. In addition, a dedicated freeway ramp will be linked to the H2 southbound directly to Kamehameha Highway and the Waiawa Station. The design work for both projects are expected to be completed next year, with procurement and construction contract awards anticipated in the next fiscal year. And then just wanted to highlight, Councilmember was honored to participate in the community celebration of the Stephen Cohen Family Clinic. The new partnership will be operated by Endeavors, which will primarily serve Hawaii's veterans and their family members. And that's it for me. If anyone has any questions for a council member, I can take them back.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly. Any questions for Council Member Wire's office this evening? Kelly, for the Waiawa DTS projects,
Yes.
the parking structure that they took away that they supposedly gonna put back, is that a DTS responsibility or is that a HART responsibility?
That I'm not sure. I would have to look into that and get back to you. You're talking about that parcel they were supposed to build parking.
Yeah, the parking
lot,
structure.
and then now it's going to
And,
be like $1,200 something $1,000 or whatever for each stall.
Yeah, but I think they were gonna relook at it and do something else. but-
Right. That I'm not sure.
Oh, Harry
maybe
might know.
director right now.
Yes, Chair Hazama, I believe that's a heart matter.
Okay.
Because, yeah, DTS will be responsible only for the operations side of rail. That's a construction issue, so I'm sure that Hart is responsible for that.
So the flyover from H2 and the transit center is DTS's responsibility, but the parking structure would be HART's responsibility.
I believe
Okay.
so, yes. Yep.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kelly. Hello.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Same to you.
Okay, moving on to State Senate District 17, Senator Dela Cruz's office. Anyone online? Oh, Charles. Hi, Charles.
Hey, Chair. Hi, Chair. Hi, Board. Charles Miller from Senator Dela Cruz's office, just with a brief report. Senator Dela Cruz also attended the Wahiawa Veterans Parade. Senator also participated in the groundbreaking of the Central Oahu Agricultural Food Hub. And then Senator attended and spoke at the Central Oahu Job Fair at the Wahiawa Value Added Product Development Center. And then I would just like to wish everybody a happy and safe holiday season. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Charles. Any questions for Senator Dela Cruz's office? No. All right. Oh, moving on to State Representative District 38, Representative Matsumoto's office. Oh, I'm sorry. Why?
Aloha Chair and members of the board. I'm Sharon Klaproth from Representative Matsumoto's office, and I'm just going to read something from the representative right now. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to provide this written update. I regret that I'm unable to attend this month's meeting in person due to previously scheduled off-island conference commitments. So Representative Matsumoto is attending the Women in Government Conference right now. However, I remain fully engaged in the important discussions taking place in our community. Last week, I had the opportunity to meet virtually with the School Facilities Authority and the Willem Group to receive the update that we also saw tonight. And I appreciate the thoughtful adjustments that they have made to the plans after listening to the concerns from our community. It's clear that they have taken the residents' feedback seriously, and the revisions reflect a sincere effort to be responsive, collaborative, and mindful of the neighbourhood's character and needs. I look forward to continuing this dialogue as we work together to support both our educators and our community as a whole. So please feel free to reach out to our office if we can assist further, but I'm sure that the SFA are also happy to be spoken directly to. And in addition, we just wanted to share that Representative Matsumoto has extended the deadline for her pre-session community survey to December 31. This extension will allow more time for residents to provide feedback as we prepare for the upcoming legislative session, because your input is invaluable, and we encourage everyone to participate and share their thoughts as we prepare legislation for this next session. Mahalo for your dedication and for the opportunity to provide these remarks. I look forward to being back next month. Mahalo, Representative Matsumoto.
Thank you. Any questions for Representative Matsumoto this evening? Would the representative be able to share her legislative priorities at our January 20th meeting?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you. The holidays. Okay, moving on to House Representative District 46, Representative Peruso. Amy, are you online? I think I saw you.
Hi.
Good evening, Amy. Hi.
Hi. So I'm going to start with an update on the corruption investigation because we were asked about this last night at the Wahiwa meeting. And I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. With the encouragement of some of the House members, including myself, House leadership did send an inquiry to both our AG and to the FBI and got responses from both about the feasibility, whether or not we should pursue an investigation in the legislature around the potential corrupt activities of members, and whether such an investigation or a probe would hinder a federal investigation. So the AG cautioned, as expected, that she thought it would hinder such an investigation, and then the FBI or the feds actually added additional information. I think that's really important for the public to understand, because we have been conflating, because of the way the information was conveyed, we have been conflating two separate issues. So there is language in the text that was shared by Civil Beat around an influential legislator and accepting $35,000, right? And there is also language about a bribery offense or chargeable activities. It turns out, according to the federal investigators, those two issues are separate. So there was an influential legislator that accepted $35,000, and this may have been in the context of what we call bundling. So it's a practice that is not a preferred practice, and there are rules around it, and actually like campaign spending law. If a person, let's say an elected official, accepts checks that are meant to be distributed to other members. And so in that case, it is conceivable that such a legislator, and this happens, we do know that this happens. And then they distribute it to the other members, and then it just wasn't reported properly. So that's a possibility. And then the other separate issue is bribery. So people engaging in activities that may have involved bribery. And we don't have enough information to know whether or not a legislator was involved in the bribery offense. So I just want to make sure that this was new information to me, and I wanted us to, if we are to disaggregate and kind of look at issues separately, I want us to be able to do that. So there's that. Secondly, I've been working over the interim, as I mentioned before, on legislation, mostly with community members and advocates in other spaces and across the country, actually. So focusing on energy affordability, but for our purposes tonight, I want to talk a little bit about the legislation that I'm working on to protect ag land, because I think that we really saw in the federal shutdown and the attacks on SNAP, our food insecurity and our lack of capacity to feed ourselves. And it became clear again, even for a short time period. And part of our vulnerability comes from our rapid loss of ag land. So a couple bills I'll be working on, and I can share more later, but two I wanted to mention. One is a measure that will regulate the use and really disincentivize the conversion of ag land to use for solar and other renewables unless it is co-sited with agricultural activities. And that's, that we see that piloted at Mililani Tech Park and not at the tech park, but at the Ag Innovation Site in Mililani. And the other is to look at the practice of conversion of ag lands using CPR. And we've seen that that has been misused a great deal in our district, in District 46, to create gentleman farms where farming is not really happening. So I look forward to sharing more about those bills as we move forward. And then I also look forward to continuing to get community members' feedback and ideas about legislation we should introduce. And I am available for questions.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Any questions for Representative? Go ahead, Alice.
Amy, since you brought it up, you brought up the $35,000. What I read in either Silver Beat or Shapiro's article in the Star Advertiser, the statute of limitations is arriving sooner than later.
In a year,
And-
yeah.
Yeah, and so I would expect that hurry is a good word to find out, but I'm not sure that that's the only case. We had
Yeah.
the two, the senator and the representative,
Right.
2 years ago?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm
And
not
this is
sure.
this is the same investigation, right? So this is all part of the same federal investigation.
And the other point is I'm sick and tired of ag land when particularly Senator Dela Cruz talks about ag land. I noticed that there's a lot of for sale signs up on Joseph Leong as well as Kauko Hunua. And I would like to somehow keep the ag land.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're talking about food security and stuff, when you're going out there and letting Castle and Crook and somebody else go in there and build, I mean, they took away Costco, the best Loon farm corn that there was, and built all of those houses and everything that and causing all kinds of trouble. Anyway,
Yeah.
I would
No.
like to find out if there's some way that ag land can remain ag land, period.
Yeah,
Instead of the
actually,
developers.
yeah, I really appreciate that question because it points to a third bill I wasn't going to talk about tonight. But we are working with a bill that would create a pathway for the state to purchase an easement so that we have a lot of elderly farmers and families who are just aging out of farming. And rather than make it so that they have to sell their land, purchase a conservation easement and so that land can only be used for ag. And then the state would be able to put young farmers on those lands. So it's an idea we're still working on, but that your feedback and your passion around the subject is very helpful. Thank you.
Any other questions? Hey, Amy, I got one comment, I think, on your thing with solar energy for ag land.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's already a statute. If it's an AG1 or IAL land, there is a required agriculture component for green energy projects on that land already.
Right.
I think if you, I
Yeah.
think if you're talking about AG2 and below, that's where the component is not required right now.
Right. So what we're doing, there's two pieces. One is that we want to look at the whole span, all of ag land. And the second is to really drill down on some stricter language around what qualifies as agricultural activity. So if you are, for example, grazing goats and sheep, but then they never enter the consumption cycle, it never enters you know, what we would think of as our agricultural markets, then they're just a lawnmower. That's not really. so we're looking at that language and we're recognizing that that is, you know, and thinking about the conversion of those properties, because how those conversions are manifested and the extent to which those conversions are manifested has really deep implications for our food futures.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. That's a good point. The other point is these projects get approved and then nobody goes back and
Yeah.
reviews years later whether the component is still there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's a good point. Okay. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Happy holidays. Take care.
Same to you. Aloha.
Okay, State House District 37, Representative La Chica. You have a representative online for her this evening? Nope. Okay. Casey Abe, representative for Department of Transportation, sent me an email. He was not able to make the meeting tonight. But if there are any issues for DOT, please email them to me or let me know and I'll email them to him. We'll move on to approval of board meetings for our October 21st, 2025 meeting. Are there any comments, corrections regarding the minutes? Hearing none, any objections to adopting the minutes? Any abstentions? Hearing or seeing none, the minutes have been adopted. Moving on to committee reports for education. Anna, you want to go first?
Anna Hudson, I'm just doing a brief presentation for schools that this board is in this board area. I got an email from Mililani Mauka Elementary School promoting the 808 Envirocycler at Mililani Waiena Elementary School on Saturday, November 22nd from 8 to noon. And it's recycling of TV, laptops, computers, monitors, printers, cell phones, stereo equipment, and there's a lot of things that you can't bring. And this is really good. So you might want to look it up on the Mililani Waiena website. And also the Lahua, they also wanted to share their parent teacher student organization is working with Y Energy on to residents of Wahiwa. So you want to look up as well. It's pretty lengthy, and they get on the energy site, the Hawaii Energy site. There's a list of things of how to save money in each part of your home. So it might be worth it to look into that to see cost saving methods. And with that, I yield.
Okay, thank you, Anna. Stephen.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, Anna's doing great. Anna's going to be sharing with us more on the elementary schools. I'm going to be presenting the Education Committee report for Mililani Middle School. And can we have that up on the screen, please? Thank you so much. Great. Let's come down to the calendar of events, please. First of all, thank you for that. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone for the November 27th. They have at Mililani Middle School is a number of events. Highlight some of them for you. And these are going to be posted up on our website, up on the city website under our board. December 3, great PTSO dinner winter concert and hula and the cafe at the cafeteria. At the middle school, it's very festive there during this time. They have great events. There's a number of field trips going on December 5 and December 16. And there's a great book fair. You'll love this, Alice. On December 8th through 12th, the middle school book fair at the Library Learning Center. And December 17th is going to be a special time. The parents sharing a Japan study tour. More field trips on December 18, 19, and also more sports on January 17, 24, and 31. And then I want to share on the page 2 at the top. Once again, the community meetings are continuing, the PTSO. The meetings are on the second Tuesday of the month at the administration main conference room. The PTSO is at 5 o'clock, followed by the SEC at 6 o'clock. And attached there is the calendar for the fiscal year, the school year 25 and 26. And that's all that I have at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to military and civil defense.
No report.
Parks and Recreation, Susan's not here. Planning, permitting, and zoning, Stanton and Dana?
No report.
Okay. Transportation, we didn't have a meeting. Recognition and service awards. You have anything? Yeah. No. Okay. Anybody else have any announcements this evening?
Yes, Chair, if I may share.
Yes.
There's a joint neighborhood board town hall meeting on Tuesday at 6:30 on November 25th at Pearl Ridge Elementary School. It's going to be great. A number of professionals in the area will be sharing about emergency disaster preparedness, home fortification, especially affects the Kapuna in our area. If there is an emergency, are they going to have what they need? Do people need to have transportation? For here in Mililani, what are we going to do? Because the main street here going up is Meliula. If that was blocked by fallen trees, what is the contingency? What is the city and county going to do for us? How are we going to cope with this? We've even talked about involving the military, if they could assist us. But all that is going to be, so everybody is invited to it. It's going to be at the cafeteria at Pearl Ridge Elementary School on Tuesday, on the 25th at 6:30. And that will be posted up on our website also. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other announcements this evening? Okay, so again, we will be in recess in December. So for our community and board members, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year, and be safe. Yeah, be safe, and we'll see everybody back. Our next board meeting will be here and via WebEx, January 20th, 2026, 7 p.m. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.